There are several different ways to access what we call the Customer Center, which is your list of customers and their transactions. If you're on the home screen, there's an easy way to do it by clicking right here. You can also look for customers on your icon bar or customers on the menu at the top. This way you would choose the very first option, the Customer Center. Here's a list of all of your customers, and you can see that they're set up last name, comma, first name. That's probably the best way to do it if you're wanting to be able to find your customers easily. Sometimes your customers will be actual businesses and they'll just fall in line in this list alphabetically. What you see on the left is your list of customers. Here you're going to see information about the customer you're clicked on, and then down at the bottom you have some options for notes and transactions and that sort of thing. Let's head back to the left and take a look at the list. When you're looking at this list, you're going to see your main customer, and then if you have jobs set up, they'll look indented underneath that customer. You have the ability in this middle column, the balance total, to see the balance for the entire customer and also the balance for each job you're working on for that customer. This last column that says attach, if you just double click next to a customer or a job that you want to attach a file to, it will bring up this window that says attachments, and this will allow you to attach a file that you have in your computer already. You can search right here. It could be that you have something in Outlook related to this job that you want to attach. Any way at all that you can find these documents, you can just drag and drop them into this area if you want, and then click done, and you'll see a little paper clip next to that customer or job. That keeps you inside of QuickBooks, and you don't have to go out to Word or go to your email and actually look for those documents. You'll see that currently I'm looking at all of the active customers. Notice there's a drop down here where I can choose all customers, or maybe I just want to see ones with an open balance, overdue balances, things like that. Typically you want to keep it on active customers. Something that happens often that people ask me about is you'll notice there's an arrow here that says show full list only. If you click on that, you'll notice it hid the right part of the screen, and normally what happens is people have accidentally clicked that and they don't know how to get back to where they were. Just go all the way to the right and click the arrow to show the list and details, and then you'll be back to where you were. This section here has to do with either job information, or if you're clicked on a customer, it'll say customer information. This is information you have filled in related to this customer. If you've given them account numbers, you'll see that. You'll see their bill to information. Here you'll see a map and or directions to this address. This will just actually take you to Google Maps. On the right, you'll see their phone number and an email if you have set that up. Notice this email is a hyperlink. This way you can just click and email this customer directly from here. Over on the right-hand side, you're going to see a section that says Note, and there's a little pin next to the word Note. This area relates to this tab that says Notes down here at the bottom. When you set up your notes, if there's a particular one that you want to pin to this section so that you can see it at a glance, then you can do that. There's also some reports here for this customer, and if you want to run one of these, you just click on whichever report you want to run. We're going to talk about reports in a later section, but I just want you to see what a report looks like here. This is a customer quick report. If you want to close it, just go to the top and click, not the very top X, because that will close QuickBooks, but the one right below it. You have a bottom part of this screen, and I wanted to show you that you can move this up or down, because sometimes when you come in, you might be covering up one of these reports that you want to run, or maybe you want to see something that you don't automatically see. Just change this so that you can see the parts that you need to see. Let's look at the bottom. We're going to start with the tab that says Transactions. These are all the transactions for the customer or the job that you happen to have selected on the left. The easiest way to go to one of these transactions is just double click on it. I'll take this payment at the top and double click, and now you'll see that I'm in that customer's payment. If you make a change here and just save and close at the bottom, those changes will be reflected on this screen. You've got the ability to filter this list a little bit because maybe you just want to see invoices, for example. You can come here and click the down arrow next to Show and choose the type of transactions you'd like to see. You can also come over here and filter the date, and that way you can see exactly what it is you'd like to see in this list. I'll go back and choose All Transactions. At the bottom of the Transactions tab, you're going to see an option for managing transactions. These are transactions for this customer or job that you may want to go ahead and create right now. You can see that if you want to create an estimate or maybe receive a payment, you could do that. Chances are you're not going to be on this screen when you want to create these transactions. You can also run some reports down here. These will be reports on these different transactions. The next tab over says Contacts. These would be contacts that you deal with at this company or with this individual customer you're working with. Contacts can be primary or secondary. If you wanted to edit one of these, you just double click on that contact, and now you'll see you're in the contacts window here, and you can make any changes that you like. Notice that I could have set up a job title for Christy. I could have put in her last name here, which is what should have happened. I could also put in her work phone, work fax, mobile, and these fields here can represent whatever you like them to represent from this list. I'll go ahead and save and close this one, and that was a primary contact. If you're wanting to set up a contact from scratch, just come down to the bottom and click the down arrow and choose Add New. This way you could add all of the information you want about the new contact, and here's where you specify the contact type. They can be the primary, the additional, or the secondary. You can also delete a contact. Maybe I want to delete Steve. I'll just come down to Manage Contacts and choose Delete Selected Contact. It will ask me if I'm sure I want to delete Steve. I'll say yes, and you'll see now Christy is the only contact I have in this list. Moving over to the next tab, this is your To-Dos tab. To-Dos are things that you have to take care of related to this customer or job. It could be you need to set up a meeting, you've got to send a fax. If you have any listed, you would see them here. If you want to create a new to-do, come down to Manage To-Dos and choose Create New. The first thing you want to do with to-dos is specify the type. This would be a phone call, a fax, an email. It could be a meeting. Let's just say it's a call. And it already has your customer here. If you want to change that and maybe specify it's for a particular job, you could do that. You can also specify the priority. If it's low, that just means whenever you get around to it, whereas high priority means it's something you need to take care of right away. Notice you've got a due date here. You can set this for any date that you would like. If you have a particular time that it's due, you can set that here as well. And then you want to fill in the details. Let's just say set up lunch meeting. Down here is the status. It can be active, done, or inactive. Now that I've set that up, I'm going to click OK. And now you'll see there is our to-do on the list. Once you've completed this to-do, go ahead and double click under the column that says done. And you'll notice it'll bring you back up to this Edit To-Do screen, and you can change this status to done. And then when you click OK, you'll see a check mark there. That's a quick way to keep a record of all of your to-dos and whether you've taken care of them or not. You can also run reports on these to-dos as well. The next tab over is the Notes tab. Here you're going to see a list of all of your to-dos, and you'll see them listed by date over on the right-hand side here. If you wanted to manage these to-dos, you can come down to the bottom and you can add a new one. You can edit one, or if you want to delete one, you can do that as well. I'm going to go ahead and edit the selected note. And what you'll notice here is that if I wanted to add a note, I would just come down to the next line, and I have a date timestamp over on the right I can click on to put the date and time in, and then I can just add my note. You can also create a new to-do from the right-hand side here, or print this list out if you need to do that. I'll go ahead and click OK, and now you can see that I have set up my lunch meeting. The last tab says Sent Emails. This is going to be a list of any emails that you send to this customer directly from QuickBooks. If you come up here and you click here, it will bring you up to a window where you can go ahead and send that email out through QuickBooks, and then you would see it listed here on this list. You can also click on Manage Email at the bottom, and you'll see you have an option to remove any selected email from this list. That gives you a quick overview of how the screen itself is set up. What I'd like to do now is take you over into part 2, and we're going to actually set up a new customer and a new job so that you can see how that whole process works from beginning to end.